Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Moments. I'm Elena, your host, and I'm really glad you're here today for an incredibly useful episode that I truly believe will change your everyday English. In our last episode, we learned how to share your thoughts politely and even how to disagree in a constructive, good way. Today, we're shifting our focus a bit, aren't we? We're going to dive deep into the essential phrases you'll need for your entire day, from the very first moments of morning until you finally wind down at night. The goal is simple: to help you speak with genuine confidence and feel completely natural in any daily situation. This is episode 3 of our exciting journey, and it's all about equipping you with those crucial daily English phrases that will allow you to communicate clearly and easily every single day. Have you ever found yourself searching for just the right words in common situations? Perhaps when saying hello to a friend, placing an order for your morning coffee, or simply trying to navigate a quick chat? Do you ever wish you felt more comfortable in daily English conversations, allowing them to flow effortlessly without hesitation? If you felt this way, even just once, then you are absolutely in the perfect spot right now. In this episode, we're going to systematically break down typical daily situations and provide you with the exact phrases that native speakers use all the time. You'll learn not only to use these phrases yourself, but also to truly understand them so they become second nature. You'll be saying them without even thinking. So go ahead and grab your favorite warm drink. Find that comfy spot where you can truly relax and focus. By the end of this episode, my main goal for you is to feel completely ready to handle almost any daily conversation in English with surprising ease and genuine confidence. This isn't just about memorizing words, it's truly about integrating English so it becomes a natural, effortless part of your daily life. Let's begin our journey with perhaps the most important part of the day for many of us: the morning. From the moment you slowly wake up until you finally leave your home, there are so many small talks and even internal thoughts where specific English phrases can genuinely boost your fluency. These are the powerful phrases for waking up, getting ready, and savoring that important first cup of coffee or breakfast. First off, let's talk about basic greetings for the people you live with, whether it's your family or a roommate. Instead of just a simple hello, you can instantly add warmth and show real interest. A very common and wonderfully simple one is, "Good morning, did you sleep well?" This isn't just polite, it genuinely shows you care about their well being. You can also change it slightly to a bit more casual yet still polite. "Morning, how are you doing today?" Or, if you're truly in a hurry, a quick "morning" works perfectly. For a very close family member or when you're feeling a bit playful, you might even hear or say something like "morning, sleepyhead," or "rise and shine," which is such a cheerful way to encourage someone to get out of bed. Just remember, sleepyhead is quite casual and sweet, so it's best reserved for close friends or family. Let's try practicing these now to get that natural rhythm. Listen closely and then repeat after me, trying to mimic the sound and intonation. First, that friendly greeting. "Good morning. Did you sleep well?" Excellent. Now a bit more casual, but still perfectly polite. "Morning. How are you doing today?" You're doing absolutely great. As you're getting ready, you might find your mind racing with plans or suddenly realize you're running short on time. Common phrases here often begin with, "I need to get ready," which is a simple, direct statement of what you must do. If you're feeling a bit rushed, you might openly say, "I'm running a bit late." This is a polite and common way to inform someone, or even just yourself, that you might be delayed. If it feels more urgent, that panic might lead you to exclaim, "Oh no, I'm going to be late." Or the very common and urgent, "I've got to hurry." Or, "I need to rush." Another incredibly useful phrase here, especially when talking about your routine, is "I usually wake up around 7 a.m." And if you're trying to quickly prepare, you might say, "I need to get ready quickly." For a quick speaking practice, imagine this common scenario. You're just about to leave the house and you suddenly realize you're behind schedule. How would you say this out loud to yourself or someone nearby, clearly showing you're in a hurry? You might have naturally said, "Oh, I'm going to be late if I don't leave now." Or perhaps, "I've got to hurry, I'm already behind." Fantastic. You're really nailing those expressions of urgency. During breakfast, common phrases revolve around what you're eating, offering food to others, or simply chatting about the day ahead. You might politely offer, "Would you like some coffee tea?" Which is a standard and universally polite question. A slightly more relaxed way to offer something is, "Can I get you anything?" If someone asks what you'd like, you could say, "I'll just have a quick coffee if you're in a hurry." Or more clearly state, "I'm having toast and eggs." You can also express your hunger with a vivid yet common phrase, "I'm starving." Or if not particularly hungry, "I'm not very hungry this morning." If you're discussing the day's plans over breakfast, you could ask, "What's on your agenda today?" This is a slightly more formal but very clear way to inquire about their schedule. A more casual and equally common way is, "Got any plans for the day?" You might also say, "I'll clean up after breakfast," which means you'll put away the dishes and wipe down the table. Now for a quick listening and speaking practice. Imagine you're in the kitchen and your housemate has just woken up. You want to offer them a refreshing drink. Listen to this example. "Hey, good morning. Would you like some juice?" Now it's your turn. Offer them a cup of tea, making sure you sound both polite and welcoming. Did you say, "Would you like some tea?" Or perhaps, "Can I get you some tea?" Excellent. You're already making these phrases feel completely natural and your own. Once you're out the door, whether you're walking, driving, or taking public transport, there's a whole new set of common phrases you'll hear and use. These phrases are designed to help you navigate your surroundings and smoothly communicate with others while you're on your way. If you're walking, simple comments about the weather or what you observe around you are perfectly normal and great for initiating small talk. You might say, "It's a beautiful day for a walk," especially if the sun is shining. Or if the weather is looking unpredictable, "Looks like it might rain later." If you're heading somewhere specific, you could casually tell someone, "I'm just heading to the grocery store." Or more directly, "I'm on my way to work." If you're driving, conversations often revolve around that universal topic. Traffic. You might express your frustration with a sigh and say, "Traffic is terrible today." Or share your relief with, "Looks like smooth sailing on the roads," meaning there are no traffic jams or problems whatsoever. You might also hear or say, "I'm stuck in traffic," or vividly describe, "The traffic is backed up for miles." A very common phrase for simply leaving a place is, "I'm heading out now." Or the very casual, almost playful, "I'm off." You could also say, "I need to drop off the kids at school," meaning to take them to school and leave them there. Or if you're picking something up, "I'll pick up some groceries on the way home." When you're using public transport, clear communication is absolutely essential. Phrases like, Is this bus going downtown? Or does this train stop at station name? Are key for confidently checking your route and making sure you're on the right track. When you need to get off in a crowded spot, it's crucial to be polite. You might say, "Excuse me, could I get past?" Or the very polite, "Pardon me, I need to get off here." And when you finally arrive at your destination, you'd simply state, "This is my stop." For a quick speaking practice, imagine you're on a crowded bus or train and you've just reached your stop. You need to politely ask someone standing directly in your way to move so you can exit. What would you say? Say it out loud, projecting your voice clearly. You likely used, "Excuse me, could I get past, please?" Or perhaps, "Pardon me, I need to get off here." You're doing great. And remember, adding please always adds that lovely touch of politeness. Now, for a listening practice, which is just as important for daily fluency, imagine you're waiting for your train and you hear this announcement over the loudspeaker. "Attention passengers, the train is currently experiencing minor delays due to signal issues." What does minor delays tell you about the situation? It means the train is running a little bit late, maybe just by a few minutes. But it's not a major problem or a cancellation. Understanding these common public transport announcements is a crucial part of listening well and navigating your day effectively. Once you get to work or school, a whole new set of daily phrases comes into play, forming the backbone of your professional and academic interactions.
These are for greetings, starting tasks, taking breaks, and simply having general talks with coworkers, classmates, or teachers.
To greet colleagues or classmates, you often use friendly but still somewhat professional phrases. "Good morning, Natasha. How was your weekend?" is an absolute classic for a Monday morning. You might also use a more general, upbeat greeting like, "Hi, everyone, ready for the week." When you first sit down at your desk or in your classroom, you might mentally declare or tell a colleague, "I'm going to get started on this report assignment." Or for those endless computer tasks, "Time to tackle my emails." If you need help, please don't be afraid to ask. "Could you give me a hand with this?" is a very common and incredibly friendly way to ask for assistance. If you're feeling confused about something, you might say, "Could you explain this again, please? I'm not clear on it." Or politely ask, "Could you tell me what you mean by that?" These phrases demonstrate that you're actively trying to understand and learn, which is always appreciated. If you're collaborating on a project, a great phrase to use is, "Let's work on this together." Another common and practical phrase is, "I'll look into that," meaning you will investigate or check on something. For example, "I'll look into the meeting schedule for next week." Sounds perfectly natural. For a speaking practice, imagine you're about to begin a significant new task at work or school, perhaps a large project or a complex assignment. How would you tell a coworker or classmate what you're about to do using one of the phrases we've just learned? Say it aloud with confidence. You could have said, "I'm going to get started on the new presentation now," or perhaps, "Time to dive into this research project." Fantastic job. You're already sounding like a proactive and engaged individual. During a break, you might suggest something enjoyable like, "Fancy grabbing a coffee," which is common in British English, or the more widely used across all English speaking countries, "Anyone up for lunch?" Or, "Shall we grab a bite?" After your break, a simple and efficient phrase is, "Back to work," or the even more casual, "Back to it." If you need to complete a task before you can move on, you'll say you need to finish up something. For example, "I need to finish up this report before I leave." For a listening practice, picture this scene. A colleague comes to your desk, lets out a big sigh, and says, "Ugh, I'm swamped today. I don't know how I'll get everything done." What does swamped mean here? It means they are very, very busy, perhaps feeling completely overwhelmed, like they have too much to do and are almost drowning in work. Knowing these common informal expressions like swamped truly helps you understand natural, everyday conversations and connect better with the feelings being expressed. Daily life very often includes shopping for food, running various errands like going to the bank or the post office, or simply visiting different shops. Knowing the right phrases for these situations can make these tasks feel so much easier and far less intimidating when you're speaking English. When you walk into a store, staff might politely ask, "Can I help you find anything?" Or, "Are you looking for something specific?" These are standard, polite questions. You can always answer politely with, "Just browse, thanks." If you don't need immediate assistance and just want to look around. Alternatively, you can say directly, "I'm looking for item," like "I'm looking for the cereal aisle." If you need help locating something, just ask, "Excuse me, where can I find the item?" Or if you have an item in your hand, "Do you have this in a different size or color?" For a quick speaking practice, imagine you're in a clothing store and you've found a shirt you really like, but it's clearly not your size. You need a bigger one. What would you ask the sales assistant using a polite and clear phrase? Say it aloud, confidently. You might have said, "Excuse me, do you have this in a larger size, please?" Or perhaps, "Is this available in a different color? Great job." Remember, adding please is always a wonderful touch for politeness and makes you sound even more natural. At the checkout, common phrases you'll hear from the cashier include, "Is this all?" or "Will that be all for you today?" You can simply reply, "Yes, that's everything, thanks." Or if you just remembered something crucial, you could say, "Actually, could I just add this?" while holding up the item. When it's time to pay, you might hear the direct question, "Cash or card?" or the helpful offer, "Would you like a bag?" Your answer could be as simple as, "Card, please." Or the environmentally friendly, "No, thank you, I have my own bag." Always remember to make eye contact and offer a small smile if it feels comfortable and appropriate. You might also simply say you're ready to pay for your items, as in, "I'm ready to pay for these now." Another common phrase you'll hear is, "I need to pick up a few things," referring to general items you need to buy. For a listening practice, imagine you're at a bustling coffee shop counter. The person making your drink finishes preparing it and then says, "All right, that'll be $5, please." What does "that'll be" mean here? It means the total cost is, or you owe this amount. Understanding these short forms and quick phrases is incredibly important for smooth shopping and daily interactions, making you feel more in tune with the rhythm of everyday English. When running general errands, like at the post office or bank, you'll definitely need specific verbs. For example, at the post office, you might say, "I need to send off this package," meaning to mail it. Or at the bank, "I'd like to take out some money," meaning to withdraw cash. Or "I need to pay in a check," meaning to deposit it. But if you're asking for directions in a new area, "Excuse me, how do I get to the nearest post office?" Or "Could you tell me how to find the library?" are easily understood and widely used phrases. Beyond daily tasks, a big and sometimes surprisingly scary part of speaking English well is comfortable socializing and small talk. These are the casual, often short conversations that help you effortlessly build connections, make new friends, and feel so much more comfortable in any English speaking environment. To start a casual conversation beyond the very basic, how are you? You can try more open ended questions that invite a more detailed answer than just good or fine. Try asking, how's your day going so far? Or anything exciting happening today? If someone asks you about your day, you could reply simply, it's going well, thanks, and yours? Or if it's been busy, not bad, just busy. Another common phrase to initiate a conversation, especially if you haven't seen someone in a while, is, how have you been? To ask about someone's weekend plans, which is a universally common topic on a Friday or a Monday, you could say, got any plans for the weekend? Or doing anything fun this weekend? For a speaking practice, imagine you're meeting someone you know casually, like a coworker or neighbor, perhaps in the hallway or outside. How would you ask them how their day has been so far, showing real, genuine interest? Say it aloud, letting your voice convey warmth. You likely used, how's your day going? Or perhaps, how's everything today? Great job with those inviting opening lines. When making plans with friends, phrases like, do you fancy grabbing dinner tonight? Which is very common in British English. Or the more widely used and universally understood, are you free on Saturday? Are excellent ways to start. If you're happy to accept, short and enthusiastic answers include, sounds good, what time? Or, I'd love to. If you need to politely decline, it's very important to soften your refusal so you don't sound abrupt. Try something like, I'd love to, but I'm afraid I'm busy that night. Or, thanks for the invite, but I can't make it this time. Always show gratitude for the invitation, even if you can't go. Sometimes plans might fall through, meaning they get canceled. For example, our plans for the picnic fell through because of the rain is a perfectly natural way to explain it. For a listening practice, imagine a friend calls you and says, hey, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I might have to cancel our coffee. What do they mean by under the weather? It means they're feeling a little unwell or slightly sick, not seriously ill, but enough to not feel their best. Learning these common informal sayings and idiomatic phrases like under the weather truly helps you understand natural, everyday conversations and connect on a deeper level. As the day gently comes to an end, you'll discover another important group of phrases specifically for relaxing, reflecting on the day, and getting ready for a restful night. These are often more casual and personal, perfect for conversations at home. After work or school, you might naturally express how you're feeling. Phrases like, I'm exhausted, or I'm wiped out, which is quite informal but very common, are often used if you've had a particularly tiring day. More generally, you might simply say, I'm ready to relax, or I need to unwind. If someone asks about your day, you could reply, it was a long day but productive, or keep it simple with, it was all right, nothing special if it was just a normal day. You might also decide to catch up on something, like, I'm going to catch up on some reading tonight, meaning you'll do something you've fallen behind on. If you're settling in for the evening, common phrases include, I'm just going to chill out for a bit, which is very casual and means to relax, or time to unwind, meaning to relax after a period of stress. If you're thinking about watching something, what's on TV tonight, or anything good to watch, are perfectly common questions. Another useful phrase when discussing evening plans with housemates or partners is, are you doing anything tonight? Or, what are you up to this evening? For a speaking practice, imagine you've truly had a very busy and tiring day. You're finally home, walking through the door, and you want to express that you're ready for some real, deep relaxation. How would you say this, perhaps to a housemate or even just to yourself as you kick off your shoes? Say it aloud, letting your voice convey that feeling of exhaustion and relief. You might have said, I'm so tired, I just want to relax on the couch. Or perhaps, I'm completely wiped out, time to unwind. You're doing great at using those expressive words that truly convey your feelings. Before finally heading to bed, common phrases for goodbyes or reflecting on the day include, I'm heading to bed now, or the casual yet very often used, I'm calling it a night. And of course, the simple but absolutely key farewells, good night, sleep well, or sweet dreams, which is often used with children or very close partners. You might also be reminded to turn off the lights, as in, don't forget to turn off the lights. Knowing these daily phrases is a magnificent start, but making them sound truly natural and genuinely fluent in your everyday English conversations is the next incredibly important step. Here are some quick, helpful tips that will make a truly noticeable difference, followed by your final, complete practice challenge. First, learn common connectors and filler words. These aren't just and which can sometimes sound hesitant. They are small words and sounds that actually give you precious time to think, signal when you're taking a turn to speak, and make your conversation flow much more smoothly, less like a robot reading a script. Think of words and phrases like, you know, used when checking if someone understands what you mean. Like, used informally to give an example, though try not to overuse this one. Well, often used to start a thought or an answer. Actually, to correct something politely or to introduce something surprising. So, to summarize or transition to a new topic, and anyway, to return to a main topic or finish a side note. For instance, instead of just saying, I want coffee, you might say, I think I'll grab a coffee now. Or when smoothly changing topics. Anyway, what were you saying about your weekend plans? These subtle additions fill silent moments and make you sound so much more like a real, confident speaker. Second, pay incredibly close attention to intonation and rhythm. English, much like all languages, possesses a kind of musicality. How native speakers' voices go up and down, where they naturally place stress on certain words. These elements convey so much meaning and feeling. Practice saying these phrases with the correct stress and natural flow. For example, in a question like, how are you doing today? Swing notice how the voice typically rises a bit at the end and how the word doing is often stressed. For a statement like, I'm heading out now, the voice usually goes down on the word out. Listening carefully and trying to mimic these patterns will dramatically improve how natural you sound, and you might even find yourself copying these patterns without consciously trying to. Finally, and perhaps most importantly of all, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Truly speaking well comes from actively using the language, not from being perfect from day one. The more you use these daily phrases, the more automatic and effortless they will become. Every single time you try, you are getting better, even if it doesn't immediately feel like it at that moment. Embrace this natural process of learning and growing. So, how can you truly make these daily life English phrases a natural, everyday part of your speaking? It's all about consistent, focused practice and actively integrating English into your daily life. One incredibly effective way is shadowing. This is so much more than just passive listening. Find real daily English conversations from your favorite TV shows, movies, online videos, or even other podcasts that feature natural everyday talks. Listen intently to how native speakers use these specific phrases. Then try your absolute best to copy their exact pronunciation, the subtle ups and downs of their voice, and their rhythm as closely as you can, speaking along with them at the very same time. Don't just repeat after they finish. Try to literally become them for a moment. This active listening combined with simultaneous speaking helps you deeply learn the natural flow and speed of daily English, training both your mouth and your mind for effortless communication. Another powerful method is daily spoken journaling. At the end of each day, spend just 5 to 10 dedicated minutes talking out loud about your day, using as many of the phrases and words from this episode as you can. Talk about your morning routine, your commute or trip, what you accomplished at work or school, who you interacted with, and how you relaxed in the evening. If you have the ability, record yourself speaking. Then listen back carefully to your own voice. Ask yourself these important questions. How did I sound? Did I use the phrases naturally? How could I do even better next time? This focused, self reflective practice helps you truly remember, actively use, and continuously improve these phrases in a personal, meaningful way, making your learning incredibly practical and effective. And of course, always look for real life chances to speak. Even very short conversations count and contribute immensely to your progress. Challenge yourself to order your coffee in English. Simply say hello to a coworker, ask a quick question in a shop, or even try to start a short chat with someone new. Every small step you take builds your confidence and helps you learn in the most authentic way possible. Don't wait for that perfect long conversation to happen. Instead, actively create chances to practice English throughout your day. All right, that brings us to the end of this vital lesson on daily life English phrases. Today we've walked through your entire day, from sunrise to sunset, giving you useful and incredibly common phrases for everything from your energetic morning to your peaceful evening relaxation. We've also included important listening and speaking practices to help you use these phrases with genuine confidence and real fluency. I truly hope that after this episode, you feel much more ready to handle daily conversations in English, making them smooth, natural, and surprisingly easy. Here's your full practice challenge for today. For the next few days, pick just one daily situation that you do very often. Perhaps it's your commute, making breakfast, ordering lunch, or saying goodbye to your coworkers. Before you step into that situation, take a moment to intentionally remember at least 3 to 5 specific phrases from this episode that you could use. Then make a conscious effort to use them on purpose in that real conversation. Afterward, take a moment to reflect. Did you use them? How did it feel to speak to them out loud? Did the conversation flow more smoothly than usual? What could you do even better next time? Share your experiences and any phrases you found extra useful in the comments below, or wherever you engage with English in moments. Your real world practice truly inspires and helps all of us on this learning journey. Thank you so much for spending this valuable time with me today. If this episode genuinely helped you a lot and made you feel more confident and fluent in your daily English, please take a moment to like this video. Remember to subscribe to English in Moments for more helpful lessons just like this. And please share it with someone who might also benefit from learning these essential daily English phrases. Your support truly helps me keep this podcast strong and ensures it reaches more dedicated learners like you, making a real difference in their journey to fluency. I'm Elena, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and always remember, everyday English is truly your pathway to everyday confidence. Bye for now, and talk to you very soon.